Jerry, what are some of the things that stand out in your mind about the Lubys massacre?
I think the biggest thing that stands out about the whole thing is when we were going through the debriefing, one of the police officers was telling his account of how it happened. And he was talking about inside Lubys, and he was firing at George, and he ran out of ammo, and he had to crawl over a body to get back to extra ammo to reload, and his wife had eaten there a lot, and he crawled over a body that had a dress just like his wife had, and same color hair and everything, and he did not know but what it was his wife, and he had to crawl over her at least twice, not knowing. And that was just he was pretty much an emotional wreck.
I can imagine. Terry, we were looking through your book of things you had put together from the Lubys massacre in Killeen, and I noticed that you had taped in the book a receipt from Lubys in Killeen. Did you have trouble going to a restaurant after this incident, especially another Lubys?
I didn't too much think about other restaurants, but when I heard that Lubys had opened back up, I just knew in my mind that I needed to go and eat a meal there. I don't know whether that was closure or what you would call it, but about a year later, I did go back and have a meal in Lubys.
That was, I'm sure at best, that had to be somewhat strenuous. Chaplain Terry, do you have any advice for chaplains, especially new chaplains, that might be called to a mass shooting like we've had so many of the last couple of years, but any advice for somebody that might be called to a mass shooting like Lubys?
Well, I guess I would tell them that they probably need to try to gunny sack their emotions while they're going through it. You don't need the person that's the counselor breaking down and getting all messed up when he's trying to do the counseling. And I remember that I wouldn't say I was stoic, but I was calm during the whole thing. And when we got back home and I drove up in the driveway and stepped out of the motorhome, my wife was there, and she had her arms wide open, and I just broke down and bawled like a baby, So you got to keep your emotions in check until the time comes when you can release them.
It's a good account of that, Terry. What were your takeaways, if any, from the incident?
Oh, just the senselessness of it, and if stuff like that can't be committed by somebody that is a born-again Christian, and you wish everybody would get saved and know the Lord and could get past all the hatred and everything that's in the world.
It's a good point. Did the most recent shooting at Fort Hood near Killeen bring back any memories of the Lubys massacre or of that period of time? We had a military psychiatrist start shooting people inside the walls of Fort Hood, and a number of people were killed and injured, and I was honored to be able to sit through the debriefing of the civilian police force at Fort Hood, and it was a little difficult for me. Did this bring anything up for you?
I'm sure that if I had gone with you this time, Dave, it'd have been, pretty emotional. As much of this bad stuff that's happening right now, the school shootings and everything, you don't get calloused or hardened to it, but the more that comes at you, I guess you don't get so emotionally involved with it unless you're in the midst of it.
Finally, Terry, do you have any closing remarks that you'd like to make?
Dave, I would just say that you guys that are chaplains out there, just be ready. It's fairly easy to learn how to do the critical incident stress debriefing. If you haven't been through a course, go through a course, and just be ready when something happens, because you never know when the next one's coming down the pike.
Indeed. Chaplain Terry McDonald of Brownwood, former chaplain of the Brownwood Police Department, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Dave. It's always a pleasure.